From the beginning, just before we started this project, I didn't have any knowledge of the First World War. But since we've been doing this research, the project, now in my head I know that nearly 16 million people died. Then we had people fighting from different backgrounds. Then we've been visiting those areas where used to be like the factories. We go even the pictures of them where people used to work at that time. So it's been very interesting for not only for myself but for people around me. Even my youngest daughter sometimes, "Oh, Daddy, I know something happened here in Tottenham. This place, people it used to be one of the biggest factory for the munitions." So in her head, she's only 7, but she's already started to learn also from what we've been doing.
I was invited to this because my own research is on the history of munition factories, predominantly in Sheffield in the north of England. I was invited today because part of my research is on the technology of these companies and the background and why they were set up. And I've come here today to explain the background to this story. There are some fascinating stories to be found in munitions factories all across the UK, but often people need the context. They need to understand why they were set up, what they were doing, the sort of what we almost think of as mundane things, but actually adds context to these really fascinating stories. So I've come here today to essentially give these people a bit of background, give a bit of guidance on where they can go with this fascinating project they have here.
Gateways are doing lots of community projects, and we are a community project. We've done lots of research, and I know that this project is doing quite a bit of research on munitions. We've already done that by recording and documenting and producing an exhibition and community events around the Silvertown explosion, which was obviously based on munitions. So I think it was about learning from our experience and seeing if we could give any tips, top tips, and also about learning about some of the horrors of emissions during the First World War.
Places like this are going to benefit from me having this knowledge, having this information. I can get it across to them in a half-an-hour talk in a way that might take them 2, 3, 4 weeks or if not months in archives trying to figure things out. And often these stories are, on the written page, very complicated. Getting it across to them in a really sort of simple way. Here's the basic story of what happened. The story of the people, the places, the events, the human story. Getting it across to them in half an hour gives their project a good start, a good foundation, a good boost. And that's really what is important to me, that my research has impact beyond simply sat in my office at York.
What surprised me, like when they said that custard powder is very explosive, I didn't know that.
Even when you're doing research, you don't think about the little bits that make up the war. A lot of people just concentrate on the main front line, maybe a little bit about the history of how the war started, but no one really, I wouldn't say care, no one goes into the background of, okay, where was the ammunition made, who was holding the fort while the men were out fighting. So it's good to kind of see the whole bigger picture of the First World War and touching on the Second World War.
I became interested in to do with the factories and how what happened before they actually burnt down and what happened. He was working in there and how it felt to work in there. So, because I live next to Walthamstow, so I wouldn't know anything about the factories that was built there, but now I do know.
Dr. Sam and Gateways have been very supportive. They helped this project to get to this level today. They advise, they support, the phone calls, the email, the suggestion was very positive, so that's why we are here today. Because of them, then we would like to say also thank you to them. Without them, we could not be here today. Then we're gonna also tell other organizations to get in touch with them so they can also learn something positive.
Also, I would like to add that Dr. Sam and Gateways, we bring the the specific object. We'll explain clearly. We demonstrate how all the factory have been put in place. So how it affects people in nowadays society, and what should we learn from what they have done before.
So you have the local knowledge, but they can put it in context?
Yes.
So it's been a wonderful day here at the Broadwater Farm Community Centre. We, as gateways to the First World War, have brought in academics and community projects leaders to talk about their research into munition factories. And we've learnt a lot, the whole group has learnt a lot. We've had some good discussions, we've had excellent questions, and a really, really lovely event, essentially. Gateways to the First World War are designed to support community projects on the First World War. So if you have ideas for a project and you would like to maybe run a workshop similar to this, then do get in touch with me. I'm Sam Carroll.